everybody. Welcome to Thursday night live in Nettie K Studio. So good to be with you tonight. I'm just going to double check. I've got a little red light is on, and I've got this little heart up here that tells me that we've got, I hope, the chat feature going. So, me chat, yeah. Anyway, I've always got to clear my throat. That's my theme song. So if you can hear me and you have your chat ability up and running, would you just say hi and tell me where you're from, okay? Type that in, and I'd like to make sure that we've got that going. I hope we do. If not, I'll just be talking to myself. Yeah. Anyway, hey, I'm really excited about our lesson tonight. We've been having a lot of fun at Nettie K Studio in the classroom this last week, making a lot of discoveries and experimenting with the exciting subject of still life. I love still life, don't you? I hope so. And we figured out a few things that I'd like to share with you. So meanwhile, I've got streaming, I've got recording, I've got the chat going. I think we're on. Excellent. All right. And I've also got my friends out here. Okay. Now over here I have a setup of some grapes. These are fresh grapes, everyone. We've been using plastic ones in the studio, but you know, they do wrinkle up, and if you if you come back next week, you know, they've turned into something else. So we have a few artificial ones, and then we're going to have some live ones or some fresh ones as well. So, and then I have a silver goblet in case I get bored and want to do something else. All right. And my palette tonight, I have a little bit of Indian yellow. I have some transparent orange, some of the primary red magenta. I love this color. And I have some alizarin crimson, along with, oh my gosh, what is this? This is a dioxazine purple. It's a new one that I just bought. It's more blue than violet. Violet leans towards the red, and purple leans towards the blue, at least in the tubes that I have. Okay. And on top of that, I have a little bit of phthalo turquoise, which is the Gamblin phthalo turquoise, much, much darker than Lucas turquoise, which is really more of a cobalt teal. And then I have a little bit of sap green, just for fun. We might have to add some other things. You don't need all of those colors, but we're going to play around with a few things. The other thing that I'm really excited about are our little boards. And these are really fun to play with. I've got, I'm not sure, these are, I think, just plain masonite boards that my student Craig, hey Craig, he cut these up for the class from some scrap wood that he had. Really good for practicing on. And so they're just the, you know, that brown masonite stuff you can get at the hardware store and have them cut them up for you. I don't know what kind of a charge they might do, but if you can, find yourself a handyman and cut them up, or cut them up yourself, you know. Girls can do it too. And then I put 2 coats of Liquitex gesso. Now, Liquitex is a new one for me. I normally have used a few other brands. Haven't been as happy with the other brands as the Liquitex. I think I've landed on something nice and smooth. Wow, really, really happy with that. These are some other panels that we bought. This is actually Jack Richardson hardboard panels in an 8x10. So I don't get paid for this, but that's the Jack Richardson stuff. And they are really not very expensive at all. And then I got some ampersand boards, and we're doing some comparison on the ampersand compared to the Jack Richardson, compared to the masonite, compared to whatever. I've even painted a piece of cardstock paper, drawing paper, with some Liquitex as well. I'm not going to use that tonight, but I'm going to play around with that and see what the differences are. And you can do that too. Okay, so anyway, so I've got these 8x10s, and then I'm going to grab a little paintbrush. I'm going to have a little bit of my tea here. Hopefully I won't have to sing my theme song quite so many times if I do that. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to use a small brush for our first demonstration. I've got a Blick Scholastic Wonder White Filbert in a size 10. You know, the numbers on brushes are a little bit different, so it just depends on what you do. But this is, and I'll bring this forward a little bit as well. These are purple grapes, but they're not really purple. They're kind of reddish grapes. I don't know what they are. I'm going to start out by patching them in with a little bit of a dark, I've got to pull up my palette so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, this is the alizarin crimson to start with. And I think I want to make a nice dark value to begin with. And you know what the mistake is that so many people make is that you think, oh, well, I got to draw in every little tiny grape in order to get, to do this properly. No, you don't. The main thing that you want to think about when you're painting, especially in oil, is, and it might not work for watercolor, but what you do is you paint the mass of the underpainting, and we've got, and then you paint it in dark, the dark mass, then you add the middle tone, and then the lights. That's one way of doing it. But don't put too much paint down, okay? Thin, thin, thin on a nice slick surface like these boards, a lot easier than canvas. And I want to say hi. Hi, Nick. Nick from Massachusetts is here. Thank you for testing out my chat. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, awesome. Now I know I'm not just talking to myself like I used to when I was a disc jockey for the high school radio station. Yeah. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of red. I've got this alizarin crimson and some dark turquoise. It looks like black, doesn't it? It really does. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, all right, what is the shape of this? And I'm going to begin, I might not do it exactly like this because it's just fun. I'm going to come in and I'm going to make, here's this little grape thing right like that. It's about like your thumbprint a little bit. And I'm going to thin it out just a tiny bit with a bit of thinner. You can see it, to me, it looks like a little bit of purple. And then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go, all right, here's a grapey thing, and there's a grapey thing. And then I think I'll add a little bit of, just mess it up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of orange to it. And I'm going to make this the shape of the grape mass, not one grape at a time. One grape at a time, dear Jesus. No, we're not going to do that. We're not. Maybe I should make up a new song. Okay, let me know if my head's in the way. Oh my gosh. Let's see. And then we're going to go up like this. I'm just kind of massing it in a little bit. Let's put a little bit of that magenta in a little bit. I'm just playing around, adding some different colors. Some green and a little bit of red, just dark value like this. I'm going to do this in a couple of different ways. So the fun thing that we've been doing at Nettie K Studio in McCall is that we've been putting out, doing these little boards and trying different things. Like we do an apple or we've been doing pears, we've been doing lemons and all kinds of different things. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. And then you just have these little tiles. If you do them on 4 by 4 inches, you'll have little tiles that you could, stick up in your cabinet and make a nice little configuration. So you can see it's just really just a mass of nothing. And I had thought we could do one with a toned background. So I'll use that little one and we'll do that and see if it works like this. Okay, so there's that. All right, now I've got this nice dark mass. These grapes are actually going off on the side too, kind of a little bit. Well, we don't have to get too carried away. And then there's a little stem that goes up. I'm going to grab a little bit of this And the stem goes a little bit like this, like that, and then it connects down to a bunch more down like this. Okay, just a little bit like that. Now here's where the magic comes in. I'm going to set my brush down, and I'm going to now take a little paper towel. This is actually a baby wipe, but we can use a paper towel. I'm going to use this and see if it works. Okay, and this one's slightly damp. You can use it with a little bit of thinner if you want, but you don't have to. Just get, in fact, let's do it with the paper towel first. Hang on. Dunking myself down here. These are the Viva signature paper towels. If you do not have them in your country, or if you're in the Netherlands, you know, use a little swatch of your husband's old tighty-whitey underwear. Anything that doesn't have lint is what I'm talking about. Now I know this is a little bit far away, so I'm going to pull this off of the easel, make sure it's nice and focused. There. Okay, now you can see it. Now I'm going to come in with my finger stuck inside this little rag or this paper towel like that. And now I'm going to do this. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to begin wiping out the center part of some grapes. All right, I've got a couple of different colors on. Can you see that a little bit? I've got a couple of colors. Remember, I added a little bit of orange. I've added some purple. This was the purple-iest one down here. And we've added a little bit of magenta, some green. And I'm just making these oval little thumbprints by using a rag. Oh my gosh. Isn't that easy? Tell me if you think you can do this. Don't forget to tell me where you're coming in from. Shout out to my friend Sharon if you're watching, and my student Terry, and of course my ever beloved stepmom Carol, who watches every show. Yay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And Terry's mom is in her 90s, and I think she's watching too. So hi, Joe. And so you can see how these grapes, isn't this like the craziest thing? It's so fast. It's like, okay, here's a 5-minute painting demonstration. What are we going to do next? So I'm going to do that. I'm just doing this with one hand. I'm holding on to this canvas and I'm lifting off the paint. This is a little tougher to do on a canvas, on a regular canvas. This is a board and it's a little bit more slick. The more layers of gesso that you put on, like I think this one has got 2 or 3, I've noticed that sometimes it's you can get too many layers of gesso. Oh, look at that one. That one really stuck out nice like that. And then you put it on like that. And you've got an automatic little bit of a shadow coming through because you started out with the darks. Yeah, you start with the darks and then you can pull that out. Now, I'm going to show you one more fun thing. It's like, good night, everyone. I just painted a painting in 5 minutes. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, I've got some new things that I discovered. I saw somebody doing something on YouTube the other day, and I thought, what in the world are those? Well, these are some cosmetic swabs made by some weird company. I got them at Rite Aid or, you know, the drugstore. And they are, instead of using regular, they have little Q-tips in them. It's like 3 different things in there. But they have these Q-tips that go, I'm going to see if I can get that to where you can see it. Those are kind of like flat little paddles. And then on the other end, there are little pointy things like that. Okay. They're not as cheap as regular Q-tips. I'm going to show that to my other camera up here. There we go, like that. And then, but I can come in now with my little pointy things, and I'm going to dip the pointy end into a little bit of thinner. Okay. And now I'm going to pick out a few of these grapes that might be coming forward, and I'll find a spot where I want to throw in a highlight. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. And maybe one over here. I don't really want to put a highlight in every one, or it'll be like what Helen Van Wyck used to say. She would say, oh, if you put highlights all over things, it looks like a chicken with a highlight foot walked across your painting. So you want to just think about what is going to be really in line with the light like that. I'm now addicted, so here I go. I'm going to keep going. But maybe I might leave. Well, I can't help myself. I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, and then with the other side, that little flat paddle side, and of course you don't have to have these, you guys. You can just use your, a little rag and a fingernail or a tiny brush. But this is my favorite thing, which is wipe out technique. Now, what I want to see is that just like in your eyeball, you have a highlight that hits in direct line with the light. So the light's coming from over here, and then it comes out on the other side. Okay, see that right there? There. Now you can see it. You can see it. I'm going to do it right here. Okay, right there. I'm making a kind of a little crescent moon. Now, it's not on the edge of the grape. It's slightly inside so that that darker edge is still there, or that middle tone is still there. And then we go like this, and we come in, and we make another one down here like that, like that. I'm going to be so addicted, I'm going to just keep doing them and then fill up the whole thing. Okay, you can do this. I know you can. I know you can. I'm going to just do a little bit right there, maybe a little there. But when you're doing an eyeball, it's the same thing. All right, you have a highlight that lands between the cornea and the pupil, and then the light comes out across. So it comes in at one side and comes out the other, and it comes out here, and it comes out there. And then we have that and that. Now, that's just about good enough to sign my name and sell it, but we're not going to do that. Now I'm going to go back in with my little pointy thing, and I'm going to put in, and I mean, you don't have to put straight white, but I'm going to do that just for the sake of demonstration. All right, and I'm going to take some white. The highest highlight is going to be in direct line with the light right there. And then I'll put in a little bit of white like that. And then a little bit right in the center of where I cut that out. So it has a nice little halo around the highlight. I want to make sure all my little highlights have a halo around it so that there's a kind of a little, it's not just a big white, stroke of paint. It's not just a big white thing or a teeny tiny white dot. I want to have kind of a fuzzed out, broken light area. So I call that, well, this is what Helen Van Wyck used to say. She would say, it's a make it, break it, and make it again. And she learned that from her teacher, who probably learned it from Rembrandt. Who knows how old he was. Anyway, so it's just part of how we do that. See, if I just do a highlight in the middle of this dark grape down here, and I put just a white highlight there, it doesn't look quite as good. You want to have this kind of a sense of breaking it out. I'm going to make a really big one like that. And then I wrecked my painting for you. Okay, and then I go in and then I put in a light in the middle of that, kind of like this. Okay, that's pretty darn cool. I really, really like it. All right, now, what else can we do? Well, let's see what happens if we can do, well, we can do all kinds of different colors, but I'm going to now add, I'm pretty happy with that. Are you? Yeah, let me know if you like this, all right? Again, if you guys have the ability to do chat, send me a message and tell me where you're from. I'm going to bug you until I get another message. Yeah, all right. So, especially, well, it doesn't really matter. I know we got a message the other night from somebody from Ireland at 2 o'clock in the morning over there. But we don't have, we can't catch everybody all the time. Anyway, I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now the next thing I want to do, just for fun, I'm going to take a little bit of my, I'm going to set this back up before my hand falls off. Pardon me. And I'm going to go with a little bit of purple. This is that dioxazine purple, a little bit of teal, and I've got that dark color I'm going to add as a bit of a shadow underneath. Now these you could make like the Concord grapes out of these colors. Let's test that out on another board in a minute. But meanwhile, I want to just kind of get a little bit of this color down like that. And then I want to see if I can do a little bit of a, let's see, I've got this cup that I want to add in, but I don't know if I want to put it all the way in. Let's see. Let's put in just a silver chalice. So this is just the dark purple. And I'm going to back it way off like that. So, and it will go like this. We'll make a little round top. Can you guys see that? Pretty small. And then I'll put in a little, this is just purple with a little bit of turquoise to start with. And then I've got that right in behind there. Well, that's fun. Anyway, that's just kind of fun. The chalice has got a little bit of a wingy thing like that to where it goes out like this. Again, this is just for demonstration. This is not to sell in the gallery. Oh, speaking of which, I'm running the gallery tomorrow with a little trepidation because we have Winter Carnival tomorrow. And we don't have a lot of snow. Normally, we'll have upwards to 30 large snow sculptures. Well, guess what? We didn't get a lot of snow. So there's like 4. Okay, we got 4 pretty good snow sculptures and a parade on Saturday. Had they had it in January like they normally do, there wouldn't have been any. You know, it would have been just kind of bad. So there would have been just very little snow. We'd have been making sculptures out of silly string. Won't that be fun? Oh well, that's the way the world is right now, and we're just not going to get depressed about it. But do what you can, you guys. Anytime you can do your part, you know, to help with global warming. Do your part. Do your part. All right, now I'm going to add a little bit of orange. This is my transparent orange with white. That gives it a little bit of a greenish color. And then I think I'll add a little bit of magenta to the orange. This is weird. Look at your silver. This silver chalice that I have is really tarnished. And it's kind of sad. It's very tarnished. I'm going to get some silver polish and actually polish up some of it in the next little while. Because it's so tarnished we don't get any reflections. And then I'm just going to lighten that up right there. We're not going to focus so much on the chalices. We'll work on a silver project a little bit later. But meanwhile, I'll just flip that around. And then I'm going to, so you see I've got all sorts of different colors. I've got dark purple, I've got green, I've got blue. And now I'm going to come in with some white, and we'll put in a little bit of light right here and some down into the neck down here. And I'm just screwing around a little bit. We'll get back into doing a few more grapes on another palette or on another board in a second. I think I'm going to do an eyeball so I can explain to you a little bit on what I'm talking about when it comes to an eyeball. Hey, nice surprise bonus there. Let's put in a highlight right there and a little bit of a highlight there. And we're just messing around. I'll put a little one on the back side like that. And we've just made kind of a little silvery thing. Let's also take the blue down on here. I've just put a little purple. Silver is not black and white. I know it seems like that. You know, we get in fights over that in the classroom, but it really isn't. It's not. And now I'm going to make this darker right here. I'm just messing around. but it's not black and white, you guys. Um, you know, gray is something that you do to a color. It isn't really, it's not a color in my mind because black isn't really a color. Black is just a tonal value. Let's get in a fight. Okay. Now, black is a tonal value, and as is white. White is a combination of all the colors, and so is black sometimes, you know. We just combine a lot of dark valued colors, and we get this blackish color. This one right there, that is dark sap green, a little bit of alizarin crimson, and a little bit of teal. And it gives me that dark value. So we're looking at values more than we are colors when we're talking about black and white. Okay. Graying is something that you do to a color. You gray it down. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope so. Okay. Anyway, that's just a silly little cup. Let's make a bit of a yellowish. I want to do a little bit of a yellowish thing here. Let's see where it's right here in this kind of yellow. And it still looks silver, even though I've added a yellow color. Now, what happens if I add a little bit of white to it? A little bit of white, like that. And then I'm going up and down, and then I'm also thinking about the form of that. And suddenly it starts shining a little bit like that. Isn't that fun? Okay, so here's our red grapes. And now we can go in and do some green grapes. Ooh, that would be fun. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to look in my bucket here and make sure I have yes, I do. Hallelujah. Whoops, I'm going to dump some stuff here. I need a bright yellow this time. And this yellow is Hansa Yellow Medium. Okay. It looks like a middle of the road cadmium yellow. And so I'm going to come in over here. Let's make one on this board. All right. And this time I'm going to take a bit of a dark green. And let's see, what else do I want? I feel like I need to put in a little bit of a, if I put dark green and purple, it's going to be a little bit weird. Let's go with that orange again with a little bit of that sap green. And we'll do it again one more time. All right, here we go. I've got a little bit of a dark, seriously dark sap green. Dip my brush into some thinner. One more time. I want you guys to try this and let me know if you do. Okay, this is really, really dark. Really dark green. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Hansa Yellow into it. Oh man, that's fun. Hansa Yellow with a little bit of that dark green. And I'm just making this beautiful combination of color. Just a massive shape. Okay, there we go. Sometimes we need to see it more than once, don't we? Here's that dark green again, especially towards the bottom. I want to be able to have something that shows the dark shadow underneath, so that when I pull something off, you'll be able to see it, right? Ooh, that's dark. Now, if I tone the canvas or tone the board with yellow, I wonder what that would have done. Experiment a little bit and let me know what you get. Let me know what you get. All right, a little bit more green, a little more, maybe some turquoise. Yeah, turquoise underneath there. That's just the basic shape of it. Now I know why there are so many grapes in the Old Masters stuff, because it's so much fun to do. All right, it kind of looks like a big shoe, like that. Make a couple of them sticking up. Now let's try it again. Ooh, here we go. Got this nice yummy sap green with a little Hansa Yellow in there. I'm going to take my little rag. I'm going to do it again. All right. And I'm going to come in like this. And I'm going to start right there. And I'm going to take out a tiny bit there. And I'm going to go in and create this. You know what else you could make? Okay, olives with pimentos. If you do it large, you could make, you know, different kinds of fruit by just doing wipeout. You could make, you know, transparent fruit especially, but you could also do some other things like limes and lemons and anything that's round you could do that with, right? You just get this beautiful luminosity on these boards. You can keep making stuff. Okay, I'll get my hand out of the way. That would be good. And here's our green grapes. Yay! That's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Christine, if you're watching, practice this and we'll do it in class again next time we meet. So yeah, we don't have to have them all, you know, individual. You want to overlap some of them. That would be good. Now the next thing I want to do is take some of my yellow this time, and we're going to do a little positive painting. A little bit of yellow, Hansa yellow. Here we go. I'm going to use it right here. Really turns green. I'm going to make it Hansa yellow with white. And let's see if we can make that kind of look a little bit transparent. You want to avoid using a lot of white, everybody. That's not about what we're doing, because white is not transparent. White can make your grapes not look quite as transparent. So be careful. You're going to lose the effect a little bit, but sometimes you need a little bit just to brighten things up. Or just go in again with your little doodads. Where's my doodads? Here it is. Like this. All right, I've got my Q-tip. Not my Q-tip, but my weirdo makeup swab. And let's see what happens if we take out a little highlight there. Yeah, it doesn't quite go all the way back down to white. That's actually better than adding white to cadmium yellow. It works much, much better. So yeah, try it before you add any white to it. Try using just the stuff, you know, just a little bit of odorless thinner, and then do that in order to get that kind of luminous look about it. I think that works really super well. Then you can go back in with a little tip and add the little tiny highlight in the middle of the highlight like that. That makes it work really well. Okay. I'm thrilled, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so now what I was talking about, okay, we've got our two grapes here, two sets of grapes. We have the red grapes and they're kind of, yeah, purpley grapes. You can make them dark purple. You can make them blue if you want. Who cares? Anything like that. So while we're at it, I want to show you what I was talking about when it comes to painting an eye. A little bonus, a little bonus. Now I'm going to come in, we'll make this, let's see, I'm going to make this kind of a big blue eye, I guess, to start with. And I've got it right here. I'm going to, first off, I'm going to make myself a little bit of a middle tone brownish color, making it with a little bit of alizarin crimson, a little bit of orange. You make it with, you know, burnt sienna or something. I don't know, anything else. But I'm just making it to draw with, to start with. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create an eye, just the shape of this eye, the top part of the eye. Okay. When I'm teaching kids, I will do this, not just kids, but beginners especially. The main thing you don't want to do is Cleopatra, where you draw all the way around the eyeball, you know, and give it a big eyeliner thing. It just doesn't look right. So I've got this arch that just represents the eye. And then I'm going to come around. This is going to look a little weird because I'm doing this from off to the side. And then I'll make this round like that. Okay. And then I'm going to well, usually you'd have your little, little corner of the eye, the tear duct kind of thing, and that kind of stuff, right, like that. Now I'm going to come in with really it's just the same as black. It's the dark purple with a little bit of green. This is sap green and dark purple. And I'm going to come up here like this, and I'm going to make the pupil with this, in essence, the black. And you can make it out of black. You can use black if you want. This is looking a little bit seriously purple. Okay, now if the light's coming from over here, like this, okay, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to wipe off my brush, and then I'm going to come in. We'll make this one a blue eye just because it's easier to see. So now I've got a little bit of my, what did I put in this? This has got a little bit of turquoise, and I think it's like turquoise and something. Oh, this is kind of purple color, actually. I'm going to come in, and the lid, the eyelid will cast a shadow right here into the cornea, okay? So it's dark on the top right there. And then you have, I'm going to get something a little lighter now. Yeah, that's better. So now I've got this middle kind of Payne's gray looking stuff, and I'm going to now fill in the area, the cornea around the eye, the iris around the pupil. I get those so mixed up. Gosh. And I have this kind of dark underneath where the lid comes down. And we're going to do this. Okay. So, okay, now I've got kind of this blue color that's pretty even around like this. Now this side is going to be darker. This side over here is going to be darker than this because the light is coming down this way. And now I'm going to wipe off my brush, and I'm going to create, actually, yeah, I'm going to use this brush. And I'm going to take some white. You normally wouldn't use just straight white. You want to have it not quite so glaring. But I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to, right between the area where the pupil is and the cornea, the colored part, I'm going to create a little white sparkle right there. Can you see that? Yeah, there's a white sparkle, but that's not where I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to now come in with what's left on my brush, and I'm going to make it light on this side right like that. I'm not going to make it white. I'm going to make it just lighter, just like we did on those grapes. So we have a highlight in line with the light, and then we have it lighter. I'm going to exaggerate that a little bit more so you can see. Okay, hopefully. Yeah, a little bit lighter there. So it's lighter right there. And then you can make all the little doodads just by, splaying it out, making little marks. Now, if I make it too light, let's see what happens. Nope, it's still pretty good. Isn't that, isn't that just beautiful? I think so. I think so. I think it's gorgeous. And then, don't forget, I'll just keep playing around a little bit here. But I want to now, I'm going to come in underneath the lid again like that, just a bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of three-dimensional, because it's a ball, your eyeball. It's not an eye plane, it's an eyeball. And so I'm making it slightly dark under the lid. If you have a lid, you're going to put a lid over the top like that, and just keep going, working your way out till you have a whole face. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some magenta, maybe a tiny bit of orange, and some white. So magenta, orange, and white. And I'm going to create this, I'm going to put in this kind of a grayish purple right here. And then I'm going to lighten it up. because the whites of the eyes are not white. We get mixed up because they're called white. And so now I'll lighten it up just a little bit. So it's kind of a light lavender color. It's a cool color, really. Like that. That looks a little more natural than you can tell by the difference between the board itself and the eyes, the color that I just put in, or the tonal value that I put in. That way it gives you a little bit of room, and you can put a little tiny bit of a highlight in there if you want. See that? Yeah, there's a highlight. I can make that a little bit more like it's shining a little bit. Put a little bit of light in there and not just have one color because it's round. It goes like this. Okay, goes like that a little bit. Hey, you got a bonus today. That's awesome. Now, let's see. I'm going to add a little bit more of our pink color. This is the magenta into what I just had on my brush. And I got a little tear duct all of a sudden. Right there. Isn't that cute? Really neat. And then I can add, because it's a kind of a little bit dark, I can add a little bit of a highlight on there and make that look as though it's looking right at you. Awesome. Adding a little bit of orange to it. Orange and magenta. Now your skin tones might be different. I like using raw sienna with a little bit of, what's my favorite combination? I love raw sienna with cadmium red light, or a little bit of alizarin crimson. And they're, everybody's different. It used to drive me crazy because we'd have these crayon boxes way back in the 60s. I don't know if they have them anymore with the flesh tone. Well, whose flesh is that? Just you can still get tubes of paint, out of old, collections of paint, and it'll be like flesh tone. Well, that's somebody's flesh tone, but not everybody's flesh tone. Good Lord. So now I'm just taking my paintbrush with a little bit of a dark value that's just been on there because it's got everything on there like that. And I'm wiping out my little arrows. And then I can also come in with a little bit of, oops, I just caught some, alizarin crimson and some white. And there's a rim on the eye right here that goes like this, goes like that. And then it has a lighter area on it, so I'm going to lighten it up. So you add a little bit of a light to it. Anyway, I'm really diverting. We'll get into some, hey, would you guys like to ever do portraits with me again? I sure would like to. I would enjoy doing some with you. I love, love, love doing them. Oh man, I just gave them some magenta eyeshadow. This is a scary painting. Maybe I should sell it at the gallery tomorrow. Won't that be fun? Okay, how's our time? Hey, we're only in about, I need new glasses. I think 40 minutes. That's not bad. Did you learn anything today? Let me know if you did. I'm going to set that up here. Boy, what a weird collection of paintings. Oh, I want to show you what I painted today in my studio. And I've got a beautiful setup with some white tulips in a jar and a lemon. And so I started this one today. Isn't that pretty? I like that one. I'm into tulips, so I've just bought up a lot of the tulips at the grocery store, and I'm just enjoying painting them with some fresh lemons. It's just always a delight to have fresh things in the studio. All right. Well, I'm going to cut it short tonight. Anybody have any questions? Let me know. Anybody have any questions? Type away. Put them on my little messages, and I'll try to answer them. Feel free to watch it again, and hopefully we can get some more chats going. Next Thursday, I probably won't be here. I'm going to be on a little bit of a different schedule next Thursday. But the following Thursday we'll be back again. And so if I can, I'll try to record something for you for Thursday night ahead of time. With the Winter Carnival, we might just be a little over our heads. Yeah, come down and see me at Gallery 55 in McCall tomorrow if you are in town. And then enjoy the parade on Saturday. All right, love you guys, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.